Welcome to Duck Season Somewhere podcast. This episode is brought to you by the following sponsors. GetDucks.com, your proven source for the very best waterfowl hunting adventures. Argentina, Mexico, 6 whole continents worth. For 2 decades, we've delivered real duck hunts for real duck hunters. And USHuntList.com, because the next great hunt is closer than you think. Search our database of proven U.S. and Canadian outfits. Contact them directly with confidence. Trust is earned. By the numbers, 121 waterfowl subspecies bagged on 6 continents, 20 countries, 36 U.S. states, and growing. I spend upwards of 225 days per year chasing ducks, geese, and swans worldwide. And I don't choose shotguns for their brand name or the cool factor. Y'all know me way better than that. I've shot Benelli for over 2 decades. I continue shooting Benelli shotguns for their simplicity, utter reliability, and superior performance. Whether hunting near home or halfway across the world, that is the stuff that matters. Sit means sit and stay until it doesn't. No matter how well or how often trained, retrievers want those ducks as badly as we do, maybe even more. Chardog might be titled, but she's still just a dog. I'm over 50 years old and I still do dumb stuff, trust me. Retrievers are family. I wouldn't endanger my children near heavy traffic, and I'm not going to risk my dog jumping in front of blazing guns either. Gundog Outdoors' patented quick-release safety system is fully adjustable, tethers to any blind or stand, has titanium stakes for frozen ground, and a quick-release marine-grade shackle to quickly release Fido when the smoke clears. Visit GundogOutdoors.com. Connect with them on Instagram at Gundog Outdoors to see their growing line of Gundog safety and performance products. Enter hashtag GetDucks to receive 15% discount off of your first order. Boss Shot Shell's copper-plated bismuth tin alloy is the good old days again. Steel shots come a long way in the past 30 years, but will never, ever perform like good old-fashioned lead. Say goodbye to all that gimmicky, high recoil, compensation, science, hype, and hello to superior performance. Know your pattern, take ethical shots, make clean kills. That is the boss way. The good old days are now. It really is duck season somewhere for 365 days per year. Duck Season Somewhere takes me year-round to worldwide destinations where I visit with the most interesting people. I'm your host, Ramsey Russell. Join me here to listen to those conversations. Welcome back to Duck Season Somewhere. I am in southeast North Dakota, Ringneck Resort, kicking up all kinds of funny-looking ducks. They're orange with big long tails and red goggles and a green head with a white stripe, and they cuss and cackle when they break out of cover in front of the dogs. But whoo, let me tell y'all, after a couple of weeks of sitting in cold duck blinds and goose blinds from here to Mississippi, it sure has been good to get out and stretch my legs and shoot some ringneck pheasants. Joining me today are Shaine Swenson and Clayton Meyer with Ringneck Resort. Y'all introduce yourself.
My name's Shaine Swenson. I'm the owner of Ringneck Resort here in North Dakota. Born and raised out here, and yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Hell yeah! Well, where are you from, and how'd you get started into this stuff?
I'm from about half hour here from the lodge. Grew up here in a small town, North Dakota. Grew up just pheasant hunting, went with my dad. I'll load up the dogs, and we'd just go out and start busting through cover and trying to find them things.
And you were telling me this morning, because this morning we pushed a long, beautiful creek, and there were just cattails on the edge of that creek. That's how you started. You know, I know y'all had a lot of CRP back then, a lot of agriculture, but you were telling me just we got to the end of that Bayton death march of a walk, and we took the scenic route. Me and you did. They stuck to the course. What you were telling me, that's just how you grew up with your dad,
yep.
Hunting.
That was my very first memories hunting when I grew up. Was right on that creek where we were today.
How old do you think you were when you started going with your dad?
Probably 4 or 5 years old.
Really? And the short legs would carry you that far?
Yeah. I'd make it about halfway through that creek, and then my dad have to carry me the rest of the way.
That's all. I bet he was glad to do it.
Yeah, he was.
And what's your story, Clayton?
I'm Clayton Mayer from Southern Illinois. I'm up here, one of the guides at the Ringneck Resort, working for Shaine, and just out here chasing these roosters around, doing some duck hunting and enjoying the North Dakota life up here.
Heck yeah, y'all have sure got a nice place, man. I tell you, and this is a duck goose combo with pheasants, so it's the best of both worlds. I know we've been talking the last couple of days out there kicking up roosters, but y'all got clients that come out here just to shoot pheasants.
Yeah.
You've got clients that come just to shoot waterfowl or do the combo.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of guys, if you say ringneck pheasant back home, everybody thinks South Dakota, and that's a great place to go shoot pheasants. But good luck applying and getting drawn. You have to apply for like a lottery system to get a duck license.
Yep.
And here in North Dakota, you don't. You can buy it over the counter, buy it online, show up here at the lodge. Y'all can sell it, and they can do both.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what kind of the little advantage we have over South Dakota, I guess, is just basically we can buy. There's no limit of our license availability, basically.
And there's no shortage of birds.
Waterfowl.
Man,
no.
my gosh, have we seen some pheasants the last couple of days.
Yeah.
That's been astounding. And these are all wild birds we were hunting. This is not any of the put stuff. This is wild bird hunting.
Yep.
The spurs on that boy shot yesterday, that first rooster we kicked up, he had spurs like a fighting hen.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that thing had hooks like turkey, like Big Tom.
One advantage I see of a combo hunt, I think everybody listening like to shoot waterfowl, is but the opportunity to have those pheasants is y'all have got it's like this past weekend, it was single digits.
Yeah.
And a lot, the big water stayed open. A lot of the geese and ducks stayed around, but man, they got messed up. They got they weren't coming out at daylight to eat anymore.
No.
So how do you deal with something like that?
Well, basically, I mean, we try to hunt our waterfowl in the morning, but when it gets cold like that, we can switch it up and actually go pheasant hunting in the morning. And then when our ducks get on the program, or our geese get on the program of the afternoon thing, the one day feeding thing, we can go hunt them in the afternoon. And it works great that way.
Just flop it over instead of going duck and goose hunting in the morning. Flop it over because the ducks and geese are coming out to feed in the evening.
You're right.
Go shoot roosters in the morning.
Yep.
Do you? If you were going to go out at the crack of dawn, or if you're going to go out to hunt pheasants in the morning versus go out in the afternoon, do you look for something different? Do you hunt them differently?
Not necessarily. We like to wait. I mean, until 9, 10 o'clock in the mornings on our pheasants. The later, the better, because they're right away in the morning is kind of when they feed, and then right in the evening too. So
kind of wait for them to get back in that cover.
Yeah, get them back in
the cover and give them a chance to get going again.
Yeah. Because they're up. I mean, you start driving around right away at sunrise, and you'll see them all over the roads and everywhere. So
out in the open fields,
feeding bean fields, corn fields, whatever.
Boy, everybody in social media was giving me grief. Didn't matter if it's Facebook or Instagram or nothing, me holding up pheasants.
Yeah.
Like, it don't look like any duck I ever seen you hold. But I'm like, man,
you had fun out there, though, didn't you?
Oh, my gosh. I was smiling ear to ear. We stepped off yesterday evening. I guess we drove about 15, 20 minutes from here. And it was just faintly snowing when we got there.
That was cool.
And then them great big old.
That was fun.
As Forrest Gump would call them, big, fat, wet drops started coming down, and it was almost enchanting out there walking around.
It was.
Yeah, those birds will hold good in that snow too. Really get some good dog work and get in there and let you get close to them, get you a good shot on them.
Yeah.
Well, we started going down that tree row, and within 100 yards we got 6 roosters out, and they all flew over to them thick cattails.
Oh yeah.
So we walked it out. We crossed over. We walked down another tree line, and then I was sitting there catching my breath. Man, my old duck hunting legs wasn't carrying me as good in that snow And y'all went out and shot that heck of a nice rooster.
Yep. Yeah. They get in those cattails and stuff like that. You need a good dog to get in there. Some of that stuff's really, really hard walking in there, but that's where they like to be. Get in there in that good tight cover, and it's pretty good hunting.
Dog power we didn't lack.
That's right.
You had a couple of nice labs.
Yep.
Talk about your dogs a little bit. Talk about what you do with those dogs. That's pretty dang interesting.
Yeah, so I'm an associate trainer for Wild Rose Kennels out of Oxford, Mississippi. And all my dogs are Wild Rose dogs. I take them with me, train in the summertime in the off season, and then I use them as my guide dogs, during hunting season. And it works really, really good with the dog training. Getting in a place like this where you got all hunting opportunities. You got the pheasants, you got the ducks, you got the geese. It's a really good way to get the dogs out there and to use them for what you've been training for all year. So it's a lot of fun. Great opportunity to get a lot of birds over the dogs.
No matter how well trained a dog is, there's no substitute for experience.
That's right. That's right.
And it's not, I've got that little green char pup right now, and it's just, she's a great dog. She's got the skill set, but man, every single day for the last 2 weeks has been a totally different, brand new, overwhelming experience for her. It's been something she hadn't seen. Mm-hmm. And I was proud that yesterday she just kicked right in with your two dogs.
Yeah,
Talk about you got a couple of different dogs out there.
Yeah, I've got a big black lab that I use for my flusher, and then I've got a Deutsch Drahtar actually for my pointer, and he's going to be a good dog. He's only 2 years old now, but
I couldn't believe he was only 2 years old.
Yeah, he'll be 2 in November, I guess. So
how much do you think he weighs? 80 pounds. He's a beast.
He's a lot of leg.
Big long-legged boy.
Big long leg. Yeah.
He can cover some ground.
Yeah,
he covers some ground pretty good.
Oh yeah.
A couple of weeks ago we had Steve Biggers out of Texas on here, and he's a dog trainer like yourself, Clayton. And he was talking about how tough it was to be the coach's kid, is the way he put it. I mean, I noticed, man, you expect a lot out of your dogs.
Yep, I try to keep them pretty dialed in and expect them to do what I ask them to do, and all that training and everything that you do, like you were saying, once you get them out there in a real hunting situation, that's when you really find out what the dog's made of. If they're, if they took to the training, and that's the time to really put the pressure and put them to the test right there. And if you don't demand that, keep that control over them, those birds really get them worked up. That's for sure.
When you train your British labs, do you teach them to do the figure 8 and the quartering and work out, send out these pheasants like that?
It just depends on what I'm initially training the dog for. If it's going to be an upland dog, I'll teach him to quarter. If it's a duck dog, I won't teach him that. I'll walk him at heel, and it's basically mark and retrieve. And then later on, when I get them real solid on lining and all that kind of stuff, because you want a duck dog to take good long straight lines. If you start to incorporate that quartering pattern into them, it's kind of contradictory to a duck dog.
I can see that.
So you got to train for your main event, I guess, what that dog's, his main job is going to be, and then later you can add the other thing into it. So
I'm a huge fan of dove hunting. I've always said that my last meal type hunt would be opening day Mississippi, just because of traditions, and it's a social sport and all the people, and really I see that pheasant hunting is a lot of the same way, and dogs are important. And back when I was a young man and used to tromp all over the Midwest for pheasants, is because I had springers and field-bred springers, and I teach those little dogs. They did not do the technical duck hunting stuff, the lines and the marks, and they marked, of course, but I didn't handle them out on long distances on blinds for duck hunting. They were just meat dogs in that regard. But boy, they would run those figure 8s, and I used to love just like a little pair of scissors running across the field out in front of me 40 yards out and beating up those pheasants, and it was a lot of fun doing it. And the truth of the matter is, when my last springer died, I just had kind of faded and got out of ringneck pheasant hunting. And it wasn't until yesterday that I just remembered how damn much fun that is.
Oh yeah.
Well, and they're so important too. Not just getting the birds up, the quarter and the flush. This is some of the stuff that we hunt in. If you didn't have a dog, I mean, even though you see that go down in there, you can't find them.
You can't find them in there if you don't have dogs.
Well,
dogs that know what they're.
Unlike a duck, which will swim or walk if you can, or a goose.
These run.
If a pheasant ain't dead, if his head's up, he hits the ground running. like the freaking like the road runner Wiley Coyote chasing. I mean,
they can cover some ground.
Running.
They can cover some ground.
Good example was today.
Oh yeah,
remember that one today.
Yeah, y'all walked my poor leg to death, man. I mean,
I kind of felt bad. I was man, I might have to carry Ramsey back to the truck.
No, I wasn't. But they were, and what was so disappointing is they were all ranging. Now, when you were back behind, you had gone down the creek. Clayton and them, of course, were across the creek, and I struck some tracks. Oh hell, and you could tell that middle toe was longer. Oh, this is a rooster track.
Oh yeah.
And my dog kind of sniffing around, she's green as a gourd and doing something, and I passed him up thinking, well, I wonder where he went. By the time I heard pop, 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 and you shot him, I'm like, yeah, dog. And then directly, one got up, and it was rangy, man. It was rangy for that modified choke. It was ball shot shell, but I banged him down, and it took a dog to find him.
Oh, yeah.
And he was a long ways when we finally
long
caught
ways
him.
from where we-
ways.
Yep.
Sure was.
We found him, though.
Oh,
Yep.
we found him.
Yep.
That was a good thing. But the reason it turned into such a long walk is, what do you call that little drainage it came
Yeah,
in?
there was like a little, I guess, kind of a little cut coming off that creek, and man,
and the topography of that field, it didn't look as long as it turned out to be.
It looked like it was about 100 yards. Like, oh, we'll just walk up to this 100 yards.
And it got real Wild West there all of a sudden. Pheasants going
There's
everywhere.
birds flying.
You were running out of breath, yelling,
Yeah.
rooster, hen, rooster, hen, rooster. There were chickens going
Yeah,
everywhere.
I was on the wrong side of the creek when that started happening.
Only
Yeah.
then.
Only then.
But I can tell you about a mile and a half later when that thing played out, you was on the right side.
Yeah.
We walked
We had
3
to walk
miles. We
all the way
walked 3
back.
miles, and he's like, I don't even know where Clayton and Mark said. They're right there where we started.
They've probably been waiting the whole time for us.
By then, I would give out. I was like, where's the truck?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. And typical, like yesterday, let's go back to yesterday because we went all the way down that tree line. We cut over, we went back again. I'm going to say we walked a section and had seen some roosters. Y'all killed that big one. We started walking back, and then we started pushing that thick cattail. And I knew the game with you were on the one end, on the outside. I was on the other outside. These two guys, we formed a purse seine. And I kept looking back at the young guy,
Dylan.
and he he's young and he's taller than me, and he covers ground like an elk walking.
Yeah.
So I'm having to kind of foxtrot
You
and get
want to
up
talk
ahead.
about a long-legged cattail
And I
pusher.
knew, oh yeah, he was.
Yeah, we need to take him on all the hunts.
I know.
But I
Dylan
knew
getting them cattails.
I knew I needed to get up ahead. I needed to get up to the end. I knew there were going to be some birds come out. I mean, we'd seen 5 or 6 fly in there, so I knew this thing was full of roosters. And there wasn't no way that just 2 guys forming a dragnet through the middle of that were going to get them all out. I mean,
They'd
could
have been
run in
slipping out
between.
the side.
Yeah, I mean, you had it was you 2 guys and your 2 dogs, and you and a dog run up through there, and boy, at the end of the line, it got a little good right there.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think
we walked a mile or so, and we got one rooster, and toward the end there we had
the last 100
the
yards,
last 100
we come
yards
out,
was
we finished
nuts.
up with limits.
Yep.
Yeah, that we pushing those pheasants, the whole time, like he was talking about. They love to run, and they stay in that cover, and that's what happened. I mean, we got them up there at the end, and it worked out.
Well, the same thing happened this morning after we took that big, long scenic route. We came up, and I'm going to say by my Mississippi stride and counting, I'm going to say we were a mile from the so-called bridge we crossed across. And I had one bird in the bag, and you hopped down and were going through that little cattail.
Yeah.
And one got up.
Shit,
and I
we
got
went
him
100 yards from that
100
bridge.
yards from the bridge. The last 100 yards of a 4-mile, 5-mile walk, the last 100 yards. I was whistling to you because I had seen a rooster run up ahead of you about 50 yards. Then I heard one get up right where you were. Boom, I shoot him. And because you're done, man. You're already tagged out. And then your dog bumped one that I assumed was the one I just seen running. He went across the creek out of range. So I said, well, I guess I'm going to come up one shy. And just like that, boom, that other bird got up. And that last bird of the morning is what defines pheasant hunting for me, because the sun was low behind my back. It was crystal clear. This bird gets up. And even if they don't cuss and cackle, from the wing beat,
When them,
the whopping of the
wider
wings.
wing beats or something.
It's
louder.
it's like a bigger helicopter blade turning. It's a rooster when you first hear him. You just get, and that bird. And I've learned it's so easy to want to just shoot. The minute you see
take
one,
1 second.
just
you take 1 second.
take 1 second. If you'll just take that second, that split second, to notice the red goggles, notice the green, notice the white. It all goes to your little.
And you remember that, too.
Trigonometry goes in the mind, just boom, you fold them.
Yep.
And, man, that was a relief to see that bird die. I was happy.
I couldn't believe you hit. That was getting out there, too.
Well, I
You
was
whacked
ready.
him pretty good.
I got dialed in this morning on them long shots. I got a lot of practice on
You
that
were ready to
this
shoot
morning.
that bird, and you was ready to get to the truck, too.
I was ready to get to the
That's
truck.
what about when I thought I was going to have to carry you.
Then we took those pictures at the bridge, and I could see my truck, and, objects look closer in this country than they really are, and it was all uphill.
Mm-hmm.
That was at least a half mile. He's like, well, it's only a half mile. Man, it was all uphill, and I was tired. But I wasn't the only one.
No.
One of the most memorable things yesterday was Ike, your
My draw tar.
your dry thar. He starts rolling around, and I'm like, maybe he's chasing a mouse because he started getting all up in that bush. That clump of bush up in there. And I'm like, that ain't no feather. That feather
I thought he
ball.
I thought he was about to lock up on a point whenever I seen him.
Yeah.
I was like, that old tail was going. I thought, man, something.
Well, he done crawled all up in that
Something
snow
about to
cave
go.
or whatever, you know. And I'm thinking,
Like, here we go. We need one more. This will be our rooster.
So the
I'll
boss
go up there
man,
and kick.
the boss man Shaine goes in there and starts kicking, and I don't know how I smelled it first, but I yelled polecat because that's all. I mean, it was so dense. I thought I was going to puke.
About right when my dog locked up on point, then he starts sneezing and
Oh, he
rolling
starts
in the
sneezing
snow.
and rolling, and it's
I
like he
knew
puts his head on the
exactly what
snow
happened.
and running forward trying to get that stuff off. And then you come back. I don't think I got squirted. Yeah, you got squirted, dude. I sure did.
If I didn't, I'd kick that thing in the
What do
ass.
you do? Throw them clothes away?
Man, I don't know what I'm going to do with them.
Tell,
They're sitting
tell,
outside
tell,
here somewhere.
This is funny. Tell the story. Tell the story about those chaps that got sprayed.
Oh, my God.
That's funny.
So about a week and a half ago when we had a group of guys in here, whatever, combo hunt. They were waterfowl hunting in the morning and pheasant hunting in the afternoon. And this guy, he was telling, remember him telling us about those chaps?
We were talking about the Filson chaps, and I was saying something about how much I liked mine, and I had mine on. He's like, yeah,
I've had them since I was a little kid.
Since he was 14 or something. This is a 40-something-year-old guy.
Oh, like they were some old Filson
This story's
chaps.
really getting good.
Yeah.
now.
Oh, there's some nice chaps, when they're all nice.
Those
and
double tin nice Filson chaps.
Oh, yeah.
Big
No
zipper
doubt.
on the
you can
side.
tell they've been
I
a
mean,
lot of miles.
Yeah, and probably really mean something to this guy.
They really do now.
Probably going to hand them down to his kids and
Yeah,
grandkids.
probably. Well, he ends up leaving them here, these chaps. And the one I was looking around for mine, I couldn't find mine. I'm like, wow, man, that client left his. I'll just go grab his, put his on for the day. And they get sprayed by a skunk.
So
man.
when you ship those to him,
I'm not going to clean them.
That'll just add to the memories, man.
Yeah.
Maybe that wax will eventually wear off a little bit and take the
I
skunk
doubt
smell
it.
with
No.
I doubt it.
it. Did your truck smell like polecat this morning when
Yeah.
you got in it?
Yeah.
I've got a little add-on to this story. What I overheard,
Let's hear it, Clayton.
I heard Shaine after that on the phone with his mom.
Oh, no.
His mom, I can't. He was over there. I got sprayed by a skunk. You got to do something. I just can't, or whatever like that. So he called his mama to help him with bathing this dog skunk smell off of Ike.
She's a good mama, because I'm going to tell you, Ike stepped out looking like he'd been to the beauty parlor this morning.
Yeah.
He looked good this morning when
Oh,
he got
yeah.
out. And I couldn't smell polecat on him. What did she put on him?
It's a mixture of baking soda, hydrogen peroxide, and Dawn dish soap. You mix it all together into this paste.
Yeah.
And you put it on there dry. Don't wet the dog down, and just kind of put this paste on them, and it pretty much takes it away.
It did. I could not.
I didn't
could
smell
not
it
smell
today.
It wasn't that bad today.
Because there for a while, he was walking kind of up beside me at Hill, and I'm smelling for
Yeah.
him. I got a nose for that stuff. I couldn't smell it.
No, it took care of it.
Good job, Mom.
That's right.
Thanks,
Leah,
Leah, yep.
Mom Leah, she took
Thanks,
bail.
Leah.
She bailed him out.
We owe you one.
But see, now I'm going to tell you right now, folks, that stuff that mamas will do for kids, they ain't going to do for you. Your wife ain't going to do that for you. She ain't going to let you in the house.
Yep.
It just reminds me of the time I was
So
at
remember
a
that recipe.
Yeah.
Whoever's listening.
No, really, that does work. Dawn
is.
detergent. Dawn
Baking soda
baking soda.
and hydrogen peroxide.
Yeah, and then put it
Into a paste.
Get the dog wet, put it on there like a paste, and just brush it in.
Yep.
And leave it on for as long as you can.
Yep, just throw him back in his kennel.
Yeah, and then take it off.
Because when we took Ike out of his kennel, he was just pure white still from all that stuff. I just kept putting it on and putting it on.
Yep.
I use the same recipe when just to get dog smell off of a dog before I fly with them or
Yep.
travel with them or something like that. It works.
Yep.
Excuse me. Well, it reminded me of a story. I was down in duck camp, down with Steve Biggers again. We were eating. Miss Peggy there to cook had cooked a big old platter of pork chops with breakfast. You had bacon and egg and toast and French toast and pork chop, fried pork chop. Man, I'm just digging in. Had a plate stacked up, and Forrest is munching on one. He goes, man, these are almost as good as Mama's. I said, son, I've been married to your mama 20-something years, and she ain't never cooked fried pork chops. He goes, I guess she just does it while you ain't around. Whatever the kids want, Mama cooks.
That's right. Yeah. I know my mom does.
So get your kids on board, and you'll get to eat that good stuff too. Talk about your program here. We've already talked about North Dakota versus South Dakota. I think it's good, but man, y'all got a good vibe going on here with this camp house.
Yeah,
y'all can probably hear some folks in the background having a good time right now at lunch. But man, it's such a nice place, man. Miss Ann does a really nice job.
She does.
Taking care of people.
She's a great host here too. Yeah, her food ain't bad either, is it?
No, her food is fantastic.
Nefla soup. That's
Nefla
where it's
soup.
at. Nefla soup.
What is Nefla soup?
She said it's a North Dakota. It's a German.
It's like dumplings.
Yep,
It's like
German.
This dumpling soup. Man,
dumplings and
Have you tried it?
potatoes and.
There's
I
some
haven't
out
tried
here
it
for
yet.
lunch.
Oh, Ramsey, you got to try it.
Nefla
Change,
soup.
Nefla
It'll
soup.
change your world.
That's
That
right.
sounds like a North Dakota thing.
Oh, yeah.
Did you grow up eating it?
Oh yeah.
Your mom cooked it?
Yep. She's damn good at cooking it too.
Dumpling soup.
Yep.
It's pretty
That
good
sounds
stuff. It is.
But what other opportunities are here? Are there any other game birds around besides just pheasants?
We actually have a pretty decent population of sharp-tailed grouse. They've been kind of on the incline here the last few years. Sharp-tailed grouse and Hungarian partridge too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you hunt them very similarly, or?
Yeah, it's pretty much similar thing. You're hunting a little bit different
Habitat?
yeah, a little bit different cover and stuff. You're going to find sharptails more in that pastury, rolling hills, kind of brushy stuff like that. Mm-hmm. You ain't going to find them in them big, thick cattails like we were walking today.
Yeah.
And the Huns are kind of the same way. They're kind of in that more pasture stuff with next to like wheat. They really like wheat fields. If you can find a good pasture along wheat, that's where you're going to find Huns.
Well, talk about the duck and goose hunting here, because I know that's a primary part of your combo. How do you normally hunt the birds here?
We're mainly field hunting here. We do a little water hunting, but we try to stay in the dry fields. However, I mean, layout.
Mostly corn?
Yeah, corn. We do, lots of corn. Corn, beans.
We hunted a wheat field the other day.
Yeah, we
wheat
did.
field. There were some
cut,
Canadas.
Cut wheat?
Yep. Yeah, there's some Canadas and some wheat, cut wheat field the other day. We tried that too, so.
So it's a lot like hunting in Canada.
Yes.
Yeah, as far as the field situation goes, dry fields, feeding fields, stuff like that.
And I know North Dakota is it's kind of like the Wild West in the sense that it's in the past. Now I know this is changing. This is changing according to some of the guys I've been talking to. Some of the laws on trespass and things like that. But if it's not posted,
as
you just go hunt it.
Yep, as a freelancer you can, but
freelancer, right?
Yep, as a freelancer you can. There's no posted signs on any of the corners of the fields. You can go in there and
with that being said, though, if you don't have permission, even though that it's not posted, and you go hunt it, the landowner can still come in there. He can run you off. So it's best to get permission.
Right. It's always better to get permission. And the little landowners appreciate it too. Like, man, how'd you track me down? I don't even have any posted signs. Like, no, just
knocking on doors.
It's the right thing to do.
It's
just common courtesy, just to go find the landowner and respect his land, respect him, and stuff like that. But I guess the point I was making is I appreciate guys freelancing. I appreciate, because we waterfowlers are can-do people. I mean, we get out there and muster through the habit, the weather and the circumstances, and go hard and go hard or go home, go big or go home. But man, there's so much to be said about coming up to a program like this. Coming in, you got Miss Ann's cooking. You got, these rooms you got down the hall here. My room is kind of sort of like a hotel room. It's set up to where midday, if I want to go take a nap, watch a little Fox News, take a shower, I've got my own little thing going on, Then I come out here and socialize, and the whole hall is loaded up with bedrooms like that. But then you've got a nice rec area upstairs. You got an open bar right here. Man, I haven't seen this food table over here yet that is empty.
No.
There's always something. Always too much to eat.
Yeah, way too much to eat.
Yeah, and it's just you get to meet people at the bar. I've met people here from Mississippi, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Montana, I mean, just Minnesota. If I had said, I mean, just folks from all over here, and
Yep.
it's hunting camp, man. It's like
Yeah.
it's like home away from home type hunting camp, like a real hunting camp experience.
Yeah.
And everybody gets up, or they went off and did this morning. Somebody else went
That
off
guy
and
did
did
that,
that. We got out and went pheasant hunting. So it's really the way y'all run this program is really nice. Is the typical program? Would you say 3 days? Is that
Yeah,
what
I'd
most
say
people
most
book?
of our guys are 3 days. We have a few 4-day and 5-day guys, but I'd say
If you're
3
going to
days
drive
is
this
very
far,
typical.
why not?
Right.
You
Right.
know, I mean, 'cause it's going to happen. North Dakota weather is prairie.
Unpredictable.
It's unpredictable.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you, man, as a Southerner, that it was very, very nice out there today. 35 degrees. It felt like balmy,
Beautiful day.
Belize compared to this weekend. This weekend
Yeah.
was
Oh.
brutal.
Had some 4 degrees and 3 degrees a few days ago.
The real feel that day was like 19 below or something
Yep.
the other day. Oh my God.
What did y'all do? What did y'all see the birds do, and how did y'all respond to it, and how did they respond? What went on with that?
Oh.
We went pheasant hunting
Yeah.
and killed pheasants.
We went pheasant hunting a lot.
and had to do the waterfowl stuff in the afternoon. They just weren't moving at all in the
They
mornings.
wouldn't. I mean, it's single digits like that. It ain't going to be good waterfowl.
That's what we saw up north. I was north of y'all about an hour back when all that mess was going on, and those birds just. I would have thought they'd come out and feed all day, but no, man, they sat tight and it came out.
It's like
2
they get in a
o'clock.
mindset when it gets cold like that to stay in the water to make sure you have water.
Yeah,
keep open
keep it
water.
open. Yep.
yeah. But just when I got down here a couple of days ago, there's a slough or something right down the road from here that was mostly iced over. Today it was
All open.
It was starting to open, and it was loaded with mallards.
We had a pretty good wind, and then that big warm up. It didn't take it long, day and a half, and
Yeah.
the water was coming back. So
How do y'all hide out in these fields? What's an effective way for y'all to hide and get clients?
Man, we do what we can.
Get
I mean,
clients hidden, because us hiding
Right.
and clients hiding totally two different things.
Yeah. We like to have guys in layout blinds when we can, but I mean, we got plenty of fields here that have little slough edges, creek bottoms, and stuff. And we
Fence
get
rows.
Yeah, fence rows. We do a lot of hunting out of A-frames too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep them comfortable. Do you ever have
Yeah.
clients show up and say, "Nah, I don't want to hunt out of a layout blind"?
Oh yeah. That
Yep.
last group we
the
had
last
in,
group, they said absolutely no
we are
layouts.
not going in a layout blind.
Yeah.
And we do what we can to accommodate them. I mean, we did.
I think we all
made it
shoot
work.
better standing up, but I actually feel like I shoot pretty darn good in a layout blind. And when it's windy, I feel pretty darn warm sitting in my little cocoon of a layout
Yep.
blind.
Yep.
And if you can get those birds to land on the end of your boot, boom, I mean, you got them.
Yep.
Never guide a guide. I always just go with what the guide says, That's the way to do it.
Well,
Y'all know what you're doing.
my favorite way to hunt them is how we can get them.
How
Yep.
you can get them, same here.
Whatever it takes. If it's layout blind or
I'm
A-frames
not a
or
comfortability hunter. I'm a killer.
That's right. And
We're killers here.
That's right. I want success. I want something to happen.
It's pretty comfortable sitting in the truck with a limit of them on the way back home,
That's
back to the
right.
lodge.
But I've noticed, too, that y'all operate at a level. I mean, I don't know. How big is your staff here? It's more than just the two of y'all. There's a whole bunch of kids here.
Well, I think we got 6 employees total here now that most of them are scouting every day.
Scouting every day,
Every
all day,
single
every day, and it makes
Yep.
a difference, doesn't it? Because you get
Oh,
to figure
yeah.
out those patterns, what those birds are doing when
Yep.
they're getting back in a routine. One of the kids I was talking to today said, whatever the next group is coming in, got about 2,000 mallards sitting in the field waiting on them.
Yep.
And he said, the cool thing is those birds have been there. Nobody's been messing with them. Nobody's been hunting them. They're just sitting in this pocket.
Getting
Free
comfortable.
rangers, nobody. So next group that sets in is going to do it.
Yeah.
What's a good size party to run here at Ringneck Resort?
I'd say 5 to 8 is pretty standard. We like to keep it smaller so it ain't when you're going out.
A little more
pheasant.
intimate.
Yeah. More personal.
Yeah.
I like that a little better. 5 to 8 is probably your best number, I'd say.
When does the waterfowl and pheasant seasons open? When does this program kick off? How long does it run? When does it end?
We book guys from about October 10th is our pheasant opener to November 15th, 18th, something like that.
Yeah. So right there before Thanksgiving.
Yep.
You get a good couple of months in.
Yeah.
A little bit more than that, yeah. Yep. And do the hunting styles or techniques or the program change at all?
I wouldn't, not necessarily. I mean, we're doing a little bit different things every day. I mean, just to try to kill your birds. Maybe one day we'll be, obviously we always put everyone in the best option they can. I mean, we might be hunting Canada geese. If we hunt Canada geese in October, we might start out using 10, 12 dozen decoys, and by the end we'll be using 30, 40 dozen decoys, just to...
When you say Canada geese, is it primarily bigs or littles
boys.
or both?
Big boys.
That's what everybody wants.
Yep. Yeah, we love shooting them.
True story, 25, 30 years ago, I started traveling to Canada for the first time because I wanted to shoot littles.
Yep.
I shot a few of them big resident Canada geese back home hunting, but I wanted to go shoot those little mid-sized and small ones.
They're fun.
And, man, we'd get up there to Alberta, and we shot them. We shot bigs, littles, middles, specks, snows, and it got to be to where over a period of time, the outfitter I was working with, who really kind of set me down this path of GetDucks.com, he'd come in and say, I've got 300 big Canadas in this field, and I've got 1,500 littles in this field. I want them big ones.
Yep.
And what happened, I was telling somebody this in Wisconsin the other day, I think that those great big migrator Canada geese are the most definitive North American waterfowl. And you could say the same thing because, say mallards, shovelers, gadwalls, pintails, you see them all over the world in the northern hemisphere. They're everywhere. So they're not just ours. Canada geese you see in America primarily. I mean, that's Canada and America, that part of the flyway. Snow geese are the same way, but snow geese don't play by rules.
No.
They make their own dang rules.
They got their
sure
own
do.
set. Yep.
But Canada geese, if you get them figured out, you can put them in the decoys. And just seeing those big B-52s set up, especially if you're laying in a layout blind, just to see them wind out around a field, 40 acres, and just line up.
And they're so responsive to calling,
so
too.
responsive.
Yep. They're just a lot of fun to hunt.
And when they hit the ground, they're big, and when you hold one up, you feel like you did something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. When you clean one, you feel like you did
Oh,
something, too.
No, man,
You
got
gotta skin
tough
'em out
hands
like
that
a
can hand
deer.
pluck those. You
Yeah.
about got to skin them out like a deer. But what a great big animal and bird that is. Do y'all shoot snow geese out of this lodge at all?
We do, yeah. Yep. We try to get, a lot of our snow goose hunting happens in November. Probably our second half of our hunting season, we're hunting snow geese.
Yep. Y'all will go out and target them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And most of the field hunting for ducks would be mallards and pintails.
Yep. Yep.
Sometimes green wings or something like
Yeah,
that.
We've shot several green wing
Several
early.
green wings late.
Yep.
That's
Lately,
interesting
we've been
that they
shooting a lot
feed
of
that.
green wings.
I seen some on that creek this morning when we were
I did
walking the
too.
pheasants. I seen some.
We got to go out there and try to kill some of
Oh,
them
that's where we're going to
tomorrow.
go. That was the best thing come out. I'm thinking there's about 3 places
We did
on
it.
that creek
We were
I'd
pheasant
like to be
hunting.
at daylight.
We were pheasant hunting and scouting at the same time.
Yeah. No, they're and fortunately, that whole stretch of creek, some of those areas are open. Some of them are frozen.
Yeah.
And everywhere it was open, we jumped ducks.
There was
mallards
ducks
and
in it.
gadwalls, a few teal. Mm-hmm. No, I'd love to get in there and no blinds, no nothing, just a handful of decoys, maybe a mojo, and tuck off into some cattails, into some shadow on the east side of the bank. And just, I think it'd be a magical hunt in the morning. I think it'd be a really nice hunt. I sure. What else, guys? Here's a question, because I know what we're eating for dinner tonight, but have y'all got a favorite recipe for ducks or pheasants or anything?
I've got a good one for pheasants. We do in the crock pot. It's we just put it in. It's simple. I mean, you just put your pheasant
Simple's
breast.
good.
Yeah, pheasant breast in the crock pot, cream of mushroom soup, and you pour that over rice. After about 4 hours in the crock pot, some good stuff.
That's it.
Yep, and it pulls
Have
apart.
you got a favorite recipe?
However I can eat a pheasant, I'll eat it.
Yeah.
They're good to eat.
The ducks, duck poppers, that's my favorite. Everybody knows what a duck popper is.
Everybody knows a duck popper. But I tell you, I put a spin on mine that I like a lot. It's the jalapeno cream cheese, goose meat, duck meat, rolled in bacon. I like to put fig preserves, or orange marmalade, or jalapeno jelly, some kind of jelly, some kind of something in between that meat and that cream cheese, and it just gives it just that next little level. I think, any kind of something sweet to balance out that jalapeno, I think goes real good. Now, tonight, we shot all those pheasants yesterday, and you and what's-his-face went out there and breathed them and brought me a whole gallon of filet, and I sat back there in the kitchen and tenderized them.
We're going to eat those tonight.
Soaked them in milk and I'm on Southern chicken frying tonight.
That's
and,
what I'm talking about.
I stopped by the grocery on the way over here. And,
you already did that.
Picked up the
Good.
ingredients for some Jezebel sauce. I just got a hankering for it, but I think I'm gonna make a dipping sauce for it. But I'm also gonna make a brown gravy. Try to make a good brown gravy, and then we can put that over the top of it.
Sounds fantastic.
Can you sink your teeth into
Oh,
that?
absolutely.
We better get after that
That's right.
sooner rather than later.
Yeah,
That's
well, I'm looking at them ingredients sitting on the bar, and it's about that time. But, folks, thank y'all for listening to this episode of Duck Season Somewhere, Southeast North Dakota, Ringneck Resort. Oh, real quick, Shaine, how can they get in touch with you?
We're on Instagram at Ringneck Resort, Facebook Ringneck Resort, and our website's ringnecresort.com. Pretty
All right,
easy.
guys. Ducks in the morning, geese in the morning, ringnecks in the afternoon, unless it is wicked cold. Sleep in, go shoot pheasants, and go hit that one-time duck hunt in the afternoon. See you next time, Duck Season Somewhere.